in the Nedbank Cup, a quarterfinal match which will be played at the Peter Mokaba Stadium in Polokwane, and Dondol Stars FC will be home to Orlando Pirates, joined firstly by the home team, and of course we've got the player Bafana Makanya joining us, as well as the coach Vincent Rammoni, the co-coach there. And maybe coach, if we can just start with you. Obviously, firstly, we all have to say congratulations. You've made it to the quarterfinals. You've made history already. You're the first team ever in the Nedbank Cup to defeat two Premier Division teams in the first two rounds of the competition. But you've got another opportunity now to defeat another Premier Division opposition. Of course, if you make it to the semi-final, you're gonna have to beat another Premier Division team. But just your thoughts heading into that match. Your thoughts on the opposition and what we can expect from Dondol.
Good afternoon to the members of the media and everyone that is in the house. It's an honor to be here as the co-coach of Dondol Stars football club. I think firstly we are very, very excited to still be part of the competition, to reach this level. I wasn't even aware that we are the first team to beat two premiership sides, and thanks for.
You're the first to beat them in the first two rounds.
Yes. I'm saying I wasn't aware of that. We are the first team to do that. Yeah. So thank you. Obviously, we are still the same Dondol that came in the first National 32 Nedbank Cup. We are still that little team from the third division tier in South African football, and we are still humbled and willing to learn from Orlando Pirates football club, like we've learned so much from SuperSport United and Amazulu FC previously, and we as the club, the technical staff and the players as well, we know why we are at this stage, and we know what we've been doing behind the scenes. We know things that we need to relentlessly remain consistent on them, and we are looking forward to Saturday's clash against one of the biggest club in South Africa.
All right, Bafana, maybe just one question from me before we open to the floor. This match, okay. I did warn about this before we started the press, but anyway. Bafana, my question is, where would this match, the quarterfinal in the Nedbank Cup against Orlando Pirates, in your career, where would this rank, in terms of, maybe one of the biggest matches in your career, as well as, your teammates as well? What are the conversations that are going on in the camp with regards to this fixture?
Good afternoon. The mood there is high. Like, everyone wants to beat Pirates. Like, when you play Pirates, you don't need motivation from coaches, families. It's motivation itself. It's the biggest team. See, so motivation is there. Everyone wants to play. We're fighting for first 11. See, at training, like, yeah.
So no one is injured this weekend?
No one is injured. Everyone is fit there. Everyone.
All right, let's take questions from the floor. I'll start with Tsepo. I've noted Mihlali. And there's a hand at the back there. I can't recognize the gentleman there. Two hands actually at the back. Let's start with Tsepo.
Thanks, Patu. Coach, I see you're also doing well in the ABC. How has playing in the Nedbank Cup helped you in terms of performance going into the ABC League? More in particular because you played against top tier teams in the country. How has it helped you to be where you are in the ABC League? Thanks.
Thanks for the question. I think the Nedbank Cup has actually helped us as the technical team, and it has also helped our players, and that is filtering in our journey of trying to gain promotion, because now we are able to handle a lot of aspects better than we were doing before we actually participated here. And like for instance, if you check, I think before we even played the Nedbank Cup, it was so much difficult for us to play and not concede goals in the league. We were winning our matches, but probably by the score margin of 3-1 or 4-1, 5-1, but we were conceding goals. And then we learned in the Nedbank that we need to be more ruthless in the chances that we create, and then at the same time we should also be a team that isn't conceding goals in our matches. And that's one aspect that we've learned, because we realized how difficult it was to score against SuperSport United and respectfully Amazulu Football Club.
Thank you. Let's take a question there, the back.
Coach Jabulane Mabele Bolori, Alex FM. You talked about learning. So my question is what is it that you have learned from matches that you have played against SuperSport United and Amazulu FC? I mean, you were able enough to walk away victorious against both of them. So what is it that you have learned that you believe you can implement ahead of the Sierras Orlando Pirates? I submit.
Thanks. Honestly, I'd say we've learned a lot from the previous two fixtures. Like I've alluded, that one of them is to not concede too many goals, meaning our defensive organization. We've took a lot from Coach Calvin Hunt's team, SuperSport United. They were very, very, very hard to crack their defense. And also Amazulu, that's one aspect that we've actually picked up from the PSL ties. And then coming into Orlando Pirates, I wouldn't say we're gonna play like we played against SuperSport or Amazulu, because now you're playing a different teams that is using different personnel who possesses different qualities all around. So our principles will never change. Will always be the same Dondol that started against SuperSport and Amazulu. But then in terms of the personnel, you may probably see few changes, because of we want to adapt few things within our game model.
Okay, Pendulo, and then Misali. We've got Karabo and Tembazo.
Coach, Coach, following your first victory in the Nedbank Cup against SuperSport United, the team started to receive more media recognition in terms of you also started attending podcasts as well. So how do you keep the club grounded ahead of this fixture against the big club like Orlando Pirates, to make sure that they are disciplined heading into the game, and also now that you've also beaten two Premiership clubs, do you think that should you, and your chances are positive that you'll make it to the Motsepe Foundation Championship, do you think that the club, with what you have, has what it takes to actually compete in the second tier of South African football? Thank you.
Thank you, Bendud, for the question. One, I would say to you, the players that we have, obviously, they are human beings before they can become soccer players. So there's no way that we can ever try as a team to block the excitement. We allow them to be excited, but consistently remind them of the job that we have at hand, and and getting the recognition and the media attention more than we did before we actually participated in this competition has actually demanded the next of us. So our players knows that what we've done in the 2 previous occasions has actually put in us under more pressure, meaning we have to work 3 times more than we did before we played against SuperSport United, and about the quality of our players competing in the second division. I'd say we've assembled a very, very, very good team this season. A team that has players who can play in any league for that matter. And I believe personally, and my coach, if he was here, I think he was gonna agree with me that the team that we have, we believe that they can go and compete in the second division tie without any problems.
Okay, let's move on to Mihlali.
Coach Bafana Mihlali Balaga from the Star newspaper. I read in the report this morning that the chairman says that regardless of how well you do in the competition, there will be no bonuses. Maybe that itself does it limit the encouragement to go all the way to the final, or you guys are saying that you will try to market yourself in this competition as best as you can? And also the fact that it says that if you win the amount, whatever amount that you win, that will go towards preparation for the playoffs. Thank you.
Okay.
He's putting you on the spot.
Yeah, and unfortunately I haven't read that article yet.
So it might not
but
be true.
Yeah. So
you haven't had that discussion?
Yeah, I personally haven't had that discussion with the chairman or any member of the team. I'm sure here my player as well doesn't even know about it.
Let me protect you. Let's leave it there.
Thank you.
Moving on to Karabo here. We want to see you on the bench come Saturday. Let's just say something here and then let's protect you.
Thank you. Karabo from SuperSport, coach. I watched your games, both your games up against Tamasil and SuperSport on Tuesday, and I saw a bit of a trend that you guys normally score most of the goals in the second half. And when you play up against Pirates, you've got to make sure that you score early, because when you do come much stronger in the second half, you might be far off. How important is it that you guys start very, very strong up against the Pirates side? I think you know the quality from back to front to back, second to none.
Thanks for your question. I think it's a normal football that most games, especially the competition games, are more likely to open up in the second half. First half teams, Pirates. If I were to speak of Pirates, probably they don't know us that much. We think we know them by watching the previous encounters, but that doesn't mean they're gonna come and do what we've been watching previous. They may come and apply different tactics and use different personnel than the ones that we anticipated. So basically now, for first half, you try to manage, and then you try to study them as quick as possible while they also trying to do that. And then in the second half, obviously, when you go into the changing room, you try to tweak 1 or 2 or 3 things within your structure. Then they also do the same. Then that's why most of our goals are being scored in the second half. But it's not something that we say. We always plan that we'll look for a goal in the second half. If the opportunity comes in the first half, obviously we'll be more delightful to take it.
Okay, last 2 questions, Temba and then Mahlati. You must always have your hand out.
Temba Shabalala, Joseph from Sports. Coach, I'm looking at the young bunch of players that you have. How do you then deal with the scouting that has been done on your team since the Nedbank Cup started and all of you got exposed? Dondol spoke about you attending podcasts and all of that. Now everybody is on your case. You are on everybody's eyes, lips, and ears. People are listening to what is happening. How has the situation been within your club, looking at the journey that you have traveled in the Nedbank? I mean, of course, we've now followed you even in your league, watching all of your games. How has the transition been from an ordinary Kasi team now to being sort of a celebrity team?
I think as Dondol Stars Football Club, we want to get promoted, and at the same time we are so much interested in the personal growth of our players and the technical members as well. So we don't really stop anybody from engaging with our players, but our players knows that the most priority thing is to try by all means to grow the brand and take the brand into the next level, so that if one of our player leaves probably next season, he has actually opened doors for another Kasi boy who can have a chance to play in the second division. So they are always we are always on their neck. He can attest to that. We don't give them breaks whenever we are at training, whenever we are competing in our league matches, because the most important thing is to try and create a trade, so that the others that are coming behind us can walk through in the forest because of the way that we've paid for them.
Coach, having followed you for the last while now, it's quite clear that you are a modern coach, you still know the game and stuff like that. But football these days is highly technical now, and PSL teams mostly have got video analysts and all this complicated stuff that they do behind the scenes. Do you guys have those things? And if you don't, how do you compensate for not having those things? And still being able to pick these guys who are so much advanced and have got so many resources than you guys, and to the player. Have you guys sort of surprised yourself with what you've been able to achieve so far? When the tournament started, did you actually think that would be here now? And how much have you enjoyed this ride? Because I can imagine it must have been quite an enjoyable ride. And I guess without disrespecting you, but you can answer the question in your mother language if you don't mind.
Okay, you can go first, Profan.
Yeah, rena ho lela nnete na re sa tshepe re ka fihla like rena he re thoma Nedbank ba re butse ba re last 32, then the sharp e fella da ka mo re butse last 32 e fella da.
Okay,
so with a more like big achievement too much, but like the market more rekirela o bolela that rekirela because even chairman of the Zara more like kirela so rena ntwe re focused mo yana too much ke league mo roring ro tsama ba botle as a group than like the mo batlo yang one.
Okay, coach.
We do have the backroom staff, although they are not getting the much deserved recognition that they deserve. I think everybody within our technical member are doing so much. It's not only me and my co-coach that are doing the spade work. There are other personnel behind us that are putting so much effort for the team to be where it is now. Although we may not have the luxury that the PSL teams have, but the little that we have, we try to use it to the fullest potential that we can ever do.
Okay, Veli, it's gonna have to be very quick. Very quick one. Straight to the point.
Okay. Yeah, coach, you talk about the league and you talk about going to the playoffs. I see that you are almost there. I think you're left with what? 3 matches, 9 points clear, eh?
Yep.
So I think your next win, you are there, because I don't see them closing that gap. But have you done your research and taken some lessons? We had Summerfield last year, I think, and they went very far in the competition, and the thinking from most people was thinking that because they're going far in the competition, promotion will be easy for them. Are you taking some lessons from their run and how they struggled in the playoffs?
That was a quick one. Very quick.
Quick and very technical. Eh? It was the quickest and the technical one. I wouldn't comment about Summerfield, because honestly, it would be very unfair of me to speak about them, because I don't know what transpired in their process to try and gain promotion, but I can only speak of my players. And one, Mr. There, we are left with 3 games, and then we are leading the log with 9 points. It's not yet there. We still need to play the 3 games and win them, because this football, anything can happen. Things can change in a split of a second. One, like I've said, and my player Bafana has just said, the priority is to win the league. The priority is to win the league and go to the playoffs and get promoted. That is the biggest goal that we are actually targeting. On how far we want to go in Nedbank Cup, obviously, if chances are there for us to go and win it, we want to take them, like others have done before. But one thing is, we have a good crop of quality players. It's always easy for us as the coaches to make changes, rest some players, bring in others, because we believe that all the players that we've signed this season can get the job done. Otherwise, they wouldn't be part of our organization. So we are not being fluked by what has happened in the Nedbank. We are still the very same team that started the 2022-23 ABC Motsepe League campaign with the very same objectives, and we are relentlessly working towards reaching our objectives of winning the league. So I believe that with the players that we have more chances of going and get promoted. We only need to make sure that our players are level grounded as well, and they still keep on going regardless of how tough or difficult it is.
All right, thank you. Are you happy, Mr. Nyat? All good. Thank you. We'll end it here, Coach. All the best for Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.